Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I have Liam, LumChop from LumchopArt.com. Go check it out. What did you do today? Or a few days ago, I guess. I guess it wasn't really today. A few days ago.
I played locals and I put a Twitter poll on what to play. And I had MegaZoo built and then I won with MegaZoo.
He won with MegaZoo. Kicking me off my throne of undefeated in locals. Anything you want to say about the deck before we get into it?
Shoutouts to Mario Gaming World.
For convincing you to play it?
Yeah, pretty much. He had a very cool list that I liked, so I just adapted it a little bit. Would make more changes in the future.
I'm going to hand you over my PC and everything to do with it, and you're going to do a deck profile now and show all of my lovely viewers just how janky your deck, how great your deck is. Over to you. Make sure to go to topdecktcg.com and use code BULB810 for 10% off your next purchase.
Hello, this is MegaZoo. Notice all these blue cards because it's MegaZoo. I suppose we'll go straight into the eggs, and I will try my best not to say like the last time I was on this channel. So starting off, we have 4 Demi Vmon, the cutest of eggs. It's to guarantee a draw of our Vmon, which is the only blue rookie we play, spoiler alert. But Demi Vmon is very good, and I cannot wait to go to Digifest this weekend so that we can get our stamps on the Demi Vs. They're also foil, which is super cool, so my Ragnaloard deck will look even shinier. It's not max rarity, but it's getting there slowly but surely. So that, yeah, you don't need to run a 5th egg because honestly, average, you summon Vmon on your egg about 2 times in a game. You honestly don't even need 4 eggs, but you play them for when you do go into grind games. So then we have the rookies. Oh, I have to do this thing. Hold on. You see that? Nice. Rookie lineup. We have 4 Vmons. Basically, you combine this with the Demi V. Demi V's inherit effect. Draw when you swing with a dude with jamming. Vmon effect. I have jamming. And this is basically protect Vmon at all costs because he's the best boy deck. This deck, spoiler alert again, is basically a lot of blockers. So a lot of the time your Vmon can survive through checks. Well, he'll survive every check as long as it's not an option card, but the rest of your deck makes it so that he survives being swung back at, basically, because he's tiny and he's 2k. Speaking of these blockers, we play 4 Sistermon Blanc. This is the engine that Mario had in his video. The Jessmon engine, I suppose. Spoiler alert, I love them. Sistermon Blanc you can use to protect your Vmon when combined with having a Savior Hook on board, or a Jessmon, or Craniummon, because a Craniummon is a Royal Knight. All of these spoilers, I'm so sorry. But yes, we play 4 Sistermon Blanc. For more Sistermons, you play the 1 CL for... It comes up. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you're not too displeased. The rest of the Sistermons, you play Sistermon Blanc Awakened. On play, you can play 1 Sistermon Blanc from your trash underneath it as a source to recover 1, and on deletion you can return your Savior package, your Jessmon package. That doesn't really come up, but the recovery does. It's quite cool. Probably cut this for cooler text, to be honest. This does the job. This is like you're praying for it, but this deck doesn't draw much. You're not going to see your Blanc if it's at the bottom of your deck, so I prefer to play tech cards that I would like to see, because sometimes you see this without the Sistermon package and it's not nice. The rest of our level 4s then, this differs in the Mario deck because this is a Mechanori instead of the Grumblemon. He played Grumblemon for game shots every now and then. Sometimes he Digivolved onto Grumblemon too, which you can do with Mechanori, but it's protect Vmon.deck. Mechanori is very good. A lot of the hybrids being 5 to 6k, meaning you're trading or you can't get rushed. The purple decks, the Eismon and stuff, yeah, you can trigger the Eismon, but in this deck you have a little bit of recovery, but you don't have a lot. So early game, when you're not seeing your pieces and you don't want to give them a bunch of memory, you can drop a Mechanori instead. Sorry, I'll move this over here because my head's in the way. It's large, especially because I just hit it on the door on the way in to do this deck profile, and it's pounding right now. For our level 5 lineup, we play the 4 Megadramons. It's just a 6 cost on play drop, same as Mario's profile, to be honest. And then the rest of them is the Gigadramon. Another 6 play on cost. They can Digivolve onto either or, so both of these can go onto the Mechanori if needs be. You don't usually do that, but you hard play them for 6, and they're also treated as the opposite color too on your turn, which is quite cool. Oh, sorry, I played 2 of these. I knew that. I know my deck inside out. Hey. And the rest of our level 5s is a Savior Hook, which you also drop hard from your hand because it's cool with the Jessmon package. You could honestly probably cut this and put in more text again, because I was seeing this and not Jessmon, but it's still quite cool because it gives the inherent effect of when attacking once per turn. If you have a Digimon with Sistermon in play, you can unsuspend this Digimon. So if this is under your Ragnaloardmon, or if you're desperate and you want to swing with your Craniummon over something, you'll get to unsuspend it if you have one of the Sistermons on board. You'll never get the when Digivolving effect, so ignore that. You could play more of him because he's not hit on the ban list yet, but last I only play one because I like to prepare, you know. And on to the level 6s. We have 4 Bryludramon. It's to do with the Ragnalord package. I might as well put the Durandam on here too. Ragnalord basically needs these in the deck to be able to make himself free, but Bryludramon is the coolest because he is inherit blocker, giving your Ragnalord blocker. If I was to change this deck, which I probably will, the techs you have are also blocker with him under it. You also play these as your level 6s. I'll put them down here. Your 2-3 Jessmon, one's an altar, sick, hehe, flex. Jessmon package, what can I say? Digivolve it onto Saviors. You can Digivolve it onto these as well because these are both red. It's a cool card, brings back your Sistermons. Again, like I said, this package is probably going to be taken out. I'd rather go with utility rather than I need pieces kind of a thing. Seeing the Jessmon without the Sistermons is sad. Seeing the Sistermons without the Jessmon is sad. Unless you have a Craniummon built up, then your Sistermons are still blockers. And the rest of your level 6s is 3 Craniummons. In the utility deck I want to build, you could probably bump this up to 4 for the winning deck list is what you're being shown. I was playing 3. Craniummon is cool. Blocker, and your Digimon with blocker can't be deleted by your opponent's card effects. Mechanori isn't great because he gets deleted. People aren't too scared of Mechanoriumon now, especially with that new purple option card. But Craniummon, protect. Craniummon protect all Sistermons, and all of these are doing the job of protecting the Vmon, along with the fact that Craniummon is blocker. It's protect Vmon deck. And finally for the Digimon, we play 4 Ragnalord, one is an altar. Ragnalord effect, when digivolving you can put a Bryludra or a Durandamon from your hand into its Digivolution source to gain 3 memory, so he becomes free. He's got security tech +1 and reboot, so with the Bryludra underneath him he's blocker, so swing for security tech +1, and then he reboots and he's a blocker, protected by a Craniummon if you have him. Very cool, very nice. Ragnaloardmon is not a Royal Knight, which is very sad, so your Sistermons don't benefit off them being on board. Finishing up the profile, we have Tamers and option cards, so I'll start with the Tamers, I suppose. We have 2 Izzy Izumis, very good. You don't want to be memory choked, I suppose, because if you are desperate and need to hard cast Craniummon, for example, you can at least do that with Izzy on board. Even with Izzy on board, you start at 3. If your opponent has a memory Tamer, you play the level 5s for 6. And it's as if you're wasting no memory, you're not giving them anything extra. And the rest of our Tamers, we play the 2 Izzy, Izumi, and Joe Kiddo. It's also cool that you get to stack your deck, because with the Vmon being brought up from breeding on top of the Demi Vmon, you can stack your deck with the Izzy to ensure you know what you're drawing off Vmon is going to be beneficial. Yeah, that's it about Izzy, sorry. Yeah, Izzy and Joe then. If your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, gain 2 memory. I preferred this to Mario's choice of the Black Tie. Black Tie is cool, bumping up your black Digimon. Which one is it again? Sorry, MegaZoo. Your turn, this Digimon has an inherited +2k. Craniummon being 14 off that, and if there's a Sistermon CL on board, it's a 16k blocker, which is huge. They can't be deleted by card effects, so not even Wyvern Spread can kill it with both the CL and the MegaZoo in play. When one of your black Digimon dies, you draw a card. Mario's playstyle of having the Grumblemon in there for either digivolving up to your stacks or swinging for game, it didn't come into play. But when you're trying to survive on the Mechanoriumon and they finally get around it, or if you don't have the Craniummon to protect it, you're at least going to get a draw off it, which is, in my opinion, more like it's detrimental to the deck that it needs to draw if it can. So having this in here is like huge. It came in clutch for finding cards like Judgment of the Blade and stuff that pops up off 1 draws, you know, just killer cards that are super cool to draw off the top with Izzy. Talking about Judgment of the Blade, one of your Digimon with Huckmon or Royal Knight can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. It goes hand in hand with the Jessmon package. Another reason why you play the Jessmon package, to be honest, because this card is insane. Swinging at your opponent's unsuspended Digimon is huge. And its security effect is insane as well, bringing back a Sistermon from the grave, which can also be the Sistermon awakened, and add it to your hand. So it's quite cool. It's quite cool. We play 2 Kaiser Nail and 2 of the new BT7 card Tidal Wave. Another change to Mario's deck. Honestly, you could play 4 Kaiser Nail. Tidal Wave is cool, gimmicky. What you do is you choose up to 2 Digivolution sources from Digimon and play them as new Digimon. Kaiser Nail doing less, only summoning 1, and they both activate in security. This is kind of cool in security, but if you're sitting on, if you had that, I don't know, hard play or you brick with this deck sometimes, basically. And you can't draw into a better hand a lot of the time unless you see the Vmon. So in those times, you don't want to be given, like, this is a dead card if you don't see the Ragnaloard stack. While with the, let's say you have a Jesmon, a level 6, and a Craniumon in hand, you can at least go hard play this. Yeah, your opponent has a load of memory, whatever. Or even if you're trying to build up a stack because you're seeing none of your level 6s and you need to digivolve this on top or whatever, and you play the Craniumon underneath. The Tidal Wave is a 7 cost. You're probably going to be putting your opponent over their memory fixer amount, which could be 5-6 memory, which in BT7 is huge right now with the hybrids being so scary. So 4 cost, you can memory deprive your opponent. You can do a lot more. Honestly, I have used it once playing the Sister Mont Blanc from underneath the Sister Mont Blanc Awakened to draw a card, and drawing cards is cool. We like that in this deck, and I can see why Mario chose the Jesmon line, but I am going to try a utility package like I said before. So ignore that if you're looking for the future version of this list. But I just wanted to play something I knew worked, because Mario said it did and he would never lie to me. I wanted to change it a bit, but now after playing it a bit more and after, you know, winning locals, I can see what changes need to be made to the deck, or at least tried in the deck. And the rest of our blue options is 1 Ice Wall, because this card is so sick. And then the last of our options is 1 of each, Iron Fisted Onslaught and Ultimate Flare. Ultimate Flare, digivolving something by 3 and then deleting all things with a play cost of 3 or less is quite cool. If you're hybrid decks you're playing against are going wide, Ultimate Flare came in clutch. If they build up a stack, easy peasy get rid of. Iron Fisted Onslaught put in the work today against a purple deck. Not today, sorry, I played a few days ago. But I was struggling against this purple deck that just kept summoning blockers, and I was summoning blockers, and it was just so annoying. But then he started turning his inbreeding area into like a stack, and then he got into his ward, and then it's still being stalled, and it's really hard to get over his ward being 15k. You can't really swing over with the Ragnalord because it's only 14k unless you have him underneath it. But I think in those positions I didn't have this guy underneath him, so it didn't mean anything, and the Craniumon didn't have enough boost to even block this ward swinging at me for free. I drew this off the top from, I think it was a Blanc. I had the Black Tamer on board, easy peasy. He actually made the 2 Swarts, which is crazy, so we kill both Swarts, you delete the dudes with the biggest DP. This could probably be theorized a little better as well, so this isn't the best like theorized deck to my ability, but it definitely works, and you can definitely take it to locals yourself and have a bit of fun with it. You can change so much in this deck. It isn't very finicky like a Jesmon list would be. You have a lot of different options you can go down, but things like Alter S I'd like to play Millennium on. There's so many cool cards you can put into this deck that are kind of like toolboxy, you know? So that is something I want to try in the future. But yeah, for now this is pretty much it, the Protect Vmon deck.
So that was your deck profile. Yeah. I like it. It's very cool, very janky. Thanks, Mario, for losing me my spot as undefeated. Bye.
Bye.